I'd like to state that no Brainees or insects were harmed in the making of this program, and that none of the training you're about to see be attempted unless under expert supervision.
8 Brainees, 1 challenge. To use complex mass of 100 billion cells we call brain for chance to win Brain-Jitsu Black Brain Belt. This is Brain-Jitsu. Born in Lancashire, trained in Japan, with mind as sharp as samurai sword. He is Brain Master. He is the sensei.
Konnichiwa, and welcome to Brain-Jitsu. Mental training specially designed to boost brain power and focus. My trainees, or Brainees, have been following a basic programme of training in the comfort of their own home. A brain-boosting routine of exercise, sleep, and enough fruit and veg to stock a greengrocer's.
The training has helped me because it tells me to use different parts of my brain instead of the usual part that I always use.
I'm a tiny bit nervous, but I'm not very nervous because I'm quite a confident person. I really want this black belt and I'm going to win.
Now my Brainees must put their training into practice by testing a part of the brain we use every day.
Level 1, yellow belt.
Take a look at this crowd of people. Can you spot the woman in the red jumper?
Spotted, eh? Congratulations! You've just used your occipital lobes. This area, the seeing part of our brain, allows us to recognise and separate images from each other.
The 7 Brainees who use their occipital lobes the best will be allowed to enter my Brain-Jitsu dojo, where their training will continue.
The one who fails will be left outside. Oh, feel the burn.
Enter the dojo!
Our Brainees must answer 4 questions by studying the different shapes on the board in front of them. Get the questions right and they'll be left with a 4-digit code, which they must then use to unlock a piece of brain and secure their place in the dojo. But with only 7 pieces of brain and 8 Brainees, one of either Neil, Jamie, Lottie, Yusra, Jack, Georgina, Isobel or Devun will be left outside and eliminated. A bang of the gong reveals the 4 questions. How many red squares are there? How many 3-sided red shapes are there? How many blue shapes are there? How many rectangles are there? The answer our Brainees are looking for is 4277. First to think they've got the code are Devun and Yusra, with Isobel and Georgina hot in pursuit. With 7 Brainees in front of 7 pieces of brain, it's Lottie who has to wait her turn. Crunchy Californian rolls. Devun has already unlocked a piece of brain, clearly the workings of a focused mind. Neil too has got a bit of brain. Likewise Lottie, she may have taken her time, but it's certainly paid off. Remember, the code our Brainees are searching for is 4277, because there are 4 red squares, 2 3-sided red shapes, 7 blue shapes, and 7 rectangles. Isobel's cracked it, as have Yusra and Jamie. It's now a straight race between Georgina and Jack for the last piece of brain, and with it, the final place in the Brain-Jitsu dojo. But Jack still hasn't got that combination. It's now Georgina's turn. And she's done it. Jack can hardly believe it. With that last piece of brain in place, it's Jack who's left out in the cold. while 7 have proven themselves worthy of entering the dojo and continuing their brain training, for Jack, it's a sad sayonara.
The thing I found most difficult was just checking over the answers after I got it wrong. I'm not really sure if it was just I was reading questions wrong or something, but I don't really know.
So, with 6 levels to go, it's time for Devun, Neil, Lottie, Isobel, Yusra, Jamie and Georgina to receive their yellow brain belts.
That was really, really nerve-wracking because I was in the last 2 and I didn't think I was going to make it.
I was quite confident that I could go through, but maybe there was a bit more competition than I'd really expected here.
I want the black belt a lot because I think if I could get the black belt, I'd be really proud.
Brain-Jitsu!
In this next level of training, things are going to get really hard.
Level 2, orange belt.
We do things every day without even thinking, like brushing your teeth. But, you try brushing them using the hand you wouldn't normally use. See how you get on. If you manage to do that, you're using part of your brain that deals with problem solving, the frontal lobes. And that's what level 2 is all about. Taking something you can only do without thinking and doing it differently. Work it. To prepare them for using their frontal lobes in the next challenge, my Brainees are gonna need some training.
The room of mental nourishment.
This is the room of mental nourishment, where our young hopefuls will train their brains between every task. The more seriously they take their training, the better prepared they'll be for the challenges that lie ahead. And in level 2, that challenge is all about getting the brain to think in a different way.
Brain training. Take it in turns to call out the action on your cards. Everyone has to do the opposite. Okay, here are the cards.
So, our Brainees are going to be made to think about something, like following a simple instruction that they'd normally do without thinking.
Touch mouth with right hand.
Step backwards.
Keep tongue in mouth.
After a steady start, the pace starts to quicken and mistakes begin to creep in.
Turn head right. Devun, you got it wrong.
Oh, hey, time for a training tip.
Don't rush. Pause for 2 seconds to think before you react.
Top tip, Yusra. Spending a moment to think before rushing in really can improve your all-round focus.
Rub stomach clockwise.
If you want to work your frontal lobes, why not try this exercise with your friends?
Spin around clockwise.
How do our Brainees feel that their training has gone?
Who messed up the most?
Me!
I wasn't thinking really, and then I just thought, oh, sit down. So I just went and sat down without thinking.
I did everything right.
Yeah. Good for you.
So, will perfect Yusra be just as perfect in the next task? Will Jamie stop and think? And will Isobel remember that training tip? Time to find out as our 7 now put their frontal lobe training to the test. Guardian of the dojo and task adjudicator the Shihan will now demonstrate the level 2 challenge.
Countdown box pop.
Brainees are all given a time, say 12 seconds. They must then squat down inside the box as soon as Shihan bang gong. Start counting. Then, when they think time is up, must jump out of a box. Brainee or Brainees closest to target time will go through to next level. Brainees continue like this until only one remain and is eliminated from dojo.
My Brainees must remember to control their breathing. The quicker they breathe, the faster they'll count. Work those frontal lobes. The first time our Brainees must count inside their heads is 21 seconds. In the darkness of their boxes, our Brainees are going to have to think about passing time in a totally new way, and it will require all their powers of concentration. If you want to give your frontal lobes a workout, shut your eyes and on the gong, start counting up to 21. Then open them when you think the time is up. To make this even harder for our Brainees, the she-han is going to be banging about on her bucket. And it's Jamie who pops out first, quickly followed by Neil. While last to emerge is Devun. So how close were you to that 21 seconds? Well, if you opened your eyes as Neil popped out of the box, then congratulations, because Neil was closest to the time and advances to the next level. Our 6 remaining Brainees have another go. Again, if you want to play along at home, shut your eyes and this time on the gong, start counting to 10. Well, hang on, where's Isobel? It looks like her frontal lobes have gone into hibernation. No problems for Jamie though, who's next to go through. With each passing round, another Brainee goes safely through. But Isobel's timings are still as off as a piece of dodgy sushi. It's the final round, and it's a straight battle between Isobel and perfect Yusra. The time our pair have to judge is 15 seconds. Again, if you want to play along, shut your eyes and start counting on the gong. This time, Isobel is the first to emerge, with Yusra just behind her. So, who has timed their passage to the next round to perfection? The answer's Yusra, which means it's Isobel who must hand over her brain belt and leave the dojo.
Walk of eternal dread.
First I was doing 1 elephant and then that didn't work, so I just did 1, 2, 3, but that didn't work either. I feel upset, but I had a great time.
So, with 5 levels left, it's time for Devun, Neil, Lottie, Yusra, Jamie and Georgina to get their orange brain belts.
It was very exciting, but it was very tense because it was me and Isobel at the last round. And when she got out, I was quite surprised.
Messing up in the training didn't really help at all. It sort of lowered my confidence quite a lot. But now that I've gotten through to the next stage, I've got a really good confidence boost.
Brain-Jitsu! Brainy, not so brainy.
Who's the clever clogs and whose brain needs a lot more training? 1903. 2 American brothers, Orville and Wilbur, have a go at flying. Impressed? You should be. Inspired by a toy helicopter made from a few bits of wood and a rubber band, the brothers only went and invented the first passenger plane. Without the Wright brothers, you would never have had this, or this. Thanks, Wright brothers. I'm off to sunny Spain. Now, take a look at these chaps. Every year, they hurl themselves off Bognor Pier. The rules are simple. Fly the furthest and win a cash prize. Come on, son, you can do it. Oh dear, back to the drawing board with you, mate. Brainy, the Wright brothers. Not so brainy, bird brain birdmen of Bognor.
Brain-Jitsu!
Competition in Brain-Jitsu dojo hotting up. Only 6 Brainee now remain to battle it out under watchful eye of Shihan. Jamie, solid in every level. Devun, first to enter dojo.
The training has helped me because it tells me to use different parts of my brain.
Confident Neil. Quiet, calm Lottie, dark horse of group.
I really, really want this black belt and I'm going to win.
Georgina.
You got it wrong. Oh.
And perfect Yusra.
I did everything right.
Yeah. Good for you.
Challenges about to get even tougher. Only 2 Brainees will make it to final test. Table of supreme focus. Where must move ball with power of mind for chance to win Brain-Jitsu black brain belt. Is time for level 3 green belt.
Now, we all like to chat, but did you know that using words to communicate is one of the main reasons why our brains have grown so incredibly powerful? And that having a conversation exercises both halves of the brain. Now, if all that's doing your head in, allow me to explain. Think of it like a football match. A player is focused on his own performance, but the manager, he has to think about all his players.
That's it, Alex! All the way!
It's the same with the brain.
There's the left half, which deals with the details, and there's the right half, which looks at the overall picture. This next level of training strengthens my Brainees' focus by working one half of their brain under pressure. Hey, pump it up!
The room of mental nourishment.
It's our Brainees' second visit to the room of mental nourishment, where once more they'll train their brains in preparation for the next challenge, which, remember, is all about using the 2 halves of the brain to communicate.
Brain training. Get into pairs. Direct the blindfolded brainee to stack the blocks using only one hand.
Sounds tricky. How will our Brainees get on?
Yeah. Neil. Okay. Hand up. Hand up.
Forward. So you've got space to move.
Put it on its side. Take one. Yeah. And then another one next to that one.
You've got a few there.
Yeah.
Lottie and Neil get off to a good start. Quiet, calm Lottie using the right side of her brain to give her partner good, clear instructions. Meanwhile, what Yusra's instructions lack in detail, they make up for in volume.
Yeah, no, don't knock it over. Oh, you knocked it over. Put it on top.
Not bad, but will a training tip help our Brainees to add a few extra floors onto their skyscrapers?
Use short, clear instructions. Imagine yourself hearing them. Should we try again then?
In other words, what our guiders need to do is imagine what information their partners need, because good communication means putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
Up. Yeah, perfect. Yes. Up. Up. No, to your right. I mean to your left. Sorry, your left.
And once again, it's Lottie who's taken this idea on board the quickest. Neil's tower rising rapidly from the rubble.
Yeah, do it!
Wow.
So how do our 3 listeners think their partners did?
Yeah, Lottie was giving quite clear instructions and I sort of had a good feel about where everything was in general.
Yusra is a very good partner, but she kept saying turn and going, what way? Devun was being a bit clearer after he read the tip, but he was very good to begin with anyway.
So, will Yusra find her sense of direction? And will quiet, calm Lottie remember her training once inside the dojo? Time to find out as they now put their training to the test for those 5 green brain belts.
Barrel tip, do maths quick.
This is test of communication skill. So, 6 Brainees must first divide into teams of 2 by drawing chopsticks. Quickly as possible, team must tip over 6 barrels containing numbers that go together to make sum. Pairs need to decide who is guider, who is tipper. As tippers will be blindfolded, they will be relying on guider to help them find barrel. Once all 6 have been tipped, Brainees stop clock by shouting Brain-Jitsu. Quicker they upend barrels, more time to pick up number and make sum. When Brainee happy with answer, hit gong. First 2 teams to work out correct answer will get green belt and advance to next level. 1 Brainee from losing team will be eliminated.
The key to success here is for the guider to use the right side of their brain to follow their teammates' progress and give them clear instructions. For their partner, it's vital they use the left side of their brain to focus on these instructions and nothing else.
Forward. First to put their communication training to the test are Devun and Neil, with guider Neil working the right side of his brain and Devun the left. The boys get off to a cracking start.
Forward.
It's all very well saying step forwards, but by how much?
No. Left. Chord. Find chord.
While Neil is giving his partner short, clear instructions, they're lacking in a bit of detail.
Tip. Forward. Tip. Reach up high. Tip. Reach up towards your right. Tip. Brain-Jitsu.
The boys stop the clock in 2 minutes 4 seconds, but they'll have to wait to find out how much extra time it's bought them to make their sum. Next, it's the pink team of Lottie and Yusra.
Forward. To your left.
In training, Lottie was one of the best at giving instructions.
Other hand. Tip.
And it looks as though she's using the right side of her brain equally well here.
Tip. Okay, hand up. Tip. Forwards. To your left. Put your right hand up. Okay. Tip. Brain-Jitsu.
Tipping their last barrel in 1 minute 6 seconds. The pair finished almost a full minute quicker than Neil and Devun. Talk about girl power. Last to tip are James and Georgina.
Long step forward. Reach your left hand up. Pull.
And it's a good start.
Move your left hand up. Turn back a bit.
But Georgina's soon clutching at thin air.
Bit to move your left hand back a bit. Okay. There. Tip. Step forwards. No, not that one. There's one just next to it. Yes, that's the one. Tip. No, not that one.
The team have also been thrown by 1 or 2 of the decoy ropes, which aren't attached to a barrel.
This one. Tip. Long step to the left. Now lift your right hand up. Forwards. Yeah. Turn. Pull. Brain-Jitsu.
At last, the pair stop the clock at 1 minute 59 seconds. The quickest to tip all their barrels, it's Lottie and Yusra, who set off first to find their numbers. Here's what our Brainees are looking for. See if you can work out the sum. Remember, the first 2 teams to work it out will go through to the next level.
Okay, we've got 5.
Yusra and Lottie are first to bang the gong, just ahead of Neil and Devun, with Jamie and Georgina trailing behind. But do the sums add up? First, Lottie and Yusra. 30 minus 15 plus 13 equals 28. That looks good. Their numbers may be in a different order, but Neil and Devun have also made their sum. It looks as though all our teams have found the right answer. But as the last to finish, it's Jamie and Georgina who'll be battling it out to avoid the elimination in the...
Step off!
But with just 1 green belt up for grabs, both Brainees must use all their powers of focus to fight the urge to blink. The first to falter will be eliminated. Oh, and it's Georgina who can resist no longer. While Jamie lives to fight another day. For Georgina, it's time to hand over her orange brain belt and leave the dojo.
Walk of eternal regret.
We weren't fast enough in the beginning doing the sum and we got it wrong. But I didn't actually do the sum, Jamie did. I think Yusra will win because she's a strong character and I think she's really good at all the tasks so far.
So, with 4 levels to go, it's Devun, Neil, Lottie, Yusra and Jamie who line up for their green belts.
The
technique I used for the stare-off was to blink a lot beforehand and then just focus.
I was really pleased I was picked with Lottie because the way in the training she done really good. I think the girls are definitely better.
Brain-Jitsu!
Level 4. Move out!
This fourth level requires our Brainees to master a primitive part of the brain called the amygdala, the area that responds to threat. Remember the last time you felt afraid or panicky? Maybe you'd just seen a spider. Well, that feeling was triggered by the old amygdala. Now, stress can make you lose focus. Fact. Which is why my Brainees must train to keep their emotions under control. Prepare to harness the power of the mind.
The room of mental nourishment.
We're back in the room of mental nourishment, where our 5 remaining green belt holders are about to train in how to overcome their fears and stay focused.
Form a circle. Pass the disgusting brain boost drink around the circle, only passing it on when you have said a different colour. After 1 minute, the brainy holding the drink has to drink it. Alright everybody, let's do this.
So, our Brainees must block out the fact that they might cop a mouthful of revolting seaweed and concentrate only on coming up with a new colour. It's time to train.
Vermilion.
Perfect Yusra starts the ball rolling, and one by one, her fellow Brainees follow.
Indigo. Blue.
Adding more colours than a DIY superstore.
Burgundy.
But as the clock ticks down...
No!
It's Jamie, who must knock back the drink of stink.
Just drink a tiny bit.
There's some water as well. Drink it all. Take the water, take the water, take the water.
Time for a tip.
Block out your fears and do not look at the drink. Vermilion.
Our Brainees start again, this time doing their best to avoid eye contact with a glass of gloop. Ignoring your fears like this allows you to keep your emotions under control and helps with your focus in almost any situation. But perfect Yusra seems to have forgotten her own tip already, literally unable to tear her eyes away. The gong sounds for a second time, and it's Yusra who must pay the price for letting her amygdala take control.
2, 1. Ooh, that's disgusting. It was quite difficult to think of the colours, especially while you were holding the drink, because the thought of drinking that is horrible.
This tasted like mouldy fish.
So, will perfect Yusra be able to master her amygdala in time for the next task? Can quiet, calm Lottie stop her mind from going blank? And will the taste of that seaweed stop Jamie from finding his focus? It's time to find out as our 5 put their brain training to the test in a fear-filled challenge that will decide who gets their blue brain belts.
Creepy crawly word grab.
This level, real test of mind over matter for Brainees, and will push them to really overcome their fear. Underneath the creepy crawlies lie an assortment of letters worth different points. Brainees have just 1 minute to plunge hands into tank and pick out up to 7 letters each. They then have a further minute to make higher scoring word they can.
To do well, my Brainees must block out the signals coming from their amygdala and ignore the creepy crawlies. The quicker they combat their fear, the more time they'll have to pick out the high-scoring letters. Underneath the pile of worms are an extra 5 golden letters. If our Brainees manage to use one in their word, they'll double their score. Our Brainees dive straight in. Even Yusra, after that hesitant performance during training, is doing her best to keep her amygdala under control. While Devun seems happy taking his time, Jamie's tactic would appear to involve grabbing anything in sight. Quiet, calm Lottie, meanwhile, has found one of the golden letters. If she can now just make a word, she'll double her score. The time's up. Our Brainees now have a further minute to make the highest scoring word they can from their letters. Devun might have grabbed himself a few extra letters, but they're all low scoring. Will he pay for his pickiness? With 4-letter words for each of Jamie, Yusra and Confident Neil, it looks as though this one might go down to the wire. In fact, only Lottie with her golden letter would appear to be truly safe. See if you can make a word from the anagram at the bottom of the screen now. And there's the second gong. How have our Brainees done?
Beg.
With just 3 scoring letters, that's a disappointing 6 points for Devun.
Head.
That's 7 points for Neil.
Weak.
And a whopping 14 for Lottie, thanks to that golden W.
Wall.
Like Neil, that's also 7 for perfect Yusra.
Home.
And finally, a respectable 8 points for Jamie. All of which means that it's Devun with just a measly 6 points who must leave the dojo.
Walk of eternal regret.
I think it went wrong because there was worms in there that were really putting me off. They were just disgusting. I'm feeling quite depressed because I thought I could have done a lot better.
So, with only 3 levels left, those who use their minds to master the worms are duly rewarded with their blue belts.
After that last game, I have much more confidence for the next round.
I think Yusra is now my biggest contender. We have that rivalry between us, and generally I just want to beat her, really.
Brain-Jitsu! Brainy, not so brainy.
Who's the clever clogs and whose brain needs a lot more training? Ah, the good old toilet, WC. What would we do without it? Let's not go there. Most people credit a British plumber called Thomas Crapper with the invention. But actually, the idea of the toilet was first hatched just over 400 years ago when a geezer, John Harrington, installed one in his godmother's house. Her name, Elizabeth I. Well, you can't blame a queen for wanting to be ladylike. Another name for toilet is bog, and for the last 20 years, hundreds of hopefuls have been heading for Wales come summertime with dreams of becoming the world bog snorkeling champion. Oh, bog off. Brainy Sir John Harrington, not so brainy bog snorkelers.
Brain-Jitsu!
Tension in Brain-Jitsu Dojo mounting, as now just 4 young hopeful remain to compete under watchful eye of Shihan.
I was quite confident that I could go through.
Determined Jamie and perfect Yusra.
I'm very excited because so far I've been doing really good.
Also quiet, calm Lottie.
After that last game, I have much more confidence for the next round.
Only 2 Brainees will make final showdown. Table of supreme focus. Where must move ball with power of mind. Brain-Jitsu Black Brain Belt is within their grasp. It is time for Level 5, Red Belt!
Now, if you're learning how to bull ride, then you might be interested to know that your new hobby is doing wonders for your old grey matter. Exercising both the thinking part of the brain, the cerebrum, and the doing part, the cerebellum. You see, doing new things increases the flow of blood into your head, which keeps your brain cells topped up with the oxygen they need to perform at their best. So, in Level 5, my Brainees are going to be challenged to learn new skills. Now, you can speed up how quickly the brain takes in new stuff. And this is what our Brainees are going to train for now.
The room of mental nourishment.
It's our Brainees' 4th visit to the room of mental nourishment, where they'll be training their brains in how to learn new skills.
Brain training. Juggle the 2 balls using a hand. 1 hand. What? For as long as possible.
Sounds difficult. Time to clear the decks.
Okay, right. Who can juggle here?
Not me! I can't. arm.
Well, then impress us.
Okay.
One hand. You don't have to use both.
The idea is you throw one up, then you throw another one up, then you catch the first one, chuck it up again. Before you catch the second one.
Well, that's the theory, Neil. The tricky bit is putting it into practice.
Oh, great, it's landed.
It's a puddle of water.
Neil, you're the worst. You can't do anything right.
Hey, watch it.
Given that our Brainees are finding this new skill harder than making an origami space shuttle, you'd think their focus levels would be stratospheric. But I've seen more focus squinting through a pair of milk bottles. Time for a training tip.
Have confidence. Compliment each other.
Lovely.
The next time you face a tough mental challenge, approach it in a positive way. By remaining confident, you're much more likely to succeed.
You're very good at dropping the balls, Neil.
I think the card said to compliment one another, Yusra.
Jamie, I think you're getting much better.
That's more like it, Lottie.
I think you're going to do really well in the next challenge, Neil.
Thank you, Lottie. It's a shame I can't agree.
Ouch.
It was quite hard to compliment Yusra.
We have like this war going on against her.
She's got quite a lot of confidence, and I think I do too.
I think her confidence is a bit misplaced, though.
So, will confident Neil and perfect Yusra be able to put aside their rivalry long enough to get through to the next round? Or will quiet, calm Lottie's positive outlook give her the edge? Only time will tell, as our four now put their new skills training to the test and compete for their red brain belts.
Mind maze.
To win red belt, Brainees must remain mentally confident as they learn new physical skill. Brainee must guide marble to end of maze on their helmet by tilting head using the screen in front of them as guide. But there is twist. Image they are seeing is in reverse. That means to go right, they must tilt left. What is more, Brainee is up against clock. Brainee with slowest time will be eliminated.
The tip for my Brainees in this next task is to remain calm and think positive thoughts. Giving in to frustration will only lessen their focus and slow them up. Confident Neil is the first to get the ball rolling. And it's a pretty good start. The young Brainee working his cerebellum and his cerebrum with great skill. But I don't think you want to go that way, Neil.
Whoa, this is confusing.
Next, it's quiet, calm Lottie. In her training, she found that thinking positively really helped her to learn a new skill. But after a promising start, she quickly runs into trouble. Like a tourist in Tokyo, Lottie seems to have lost all sense of direction. Remember, you need to think in reverse. So, next time, tilt forwards, not back. Oh dear. At last, Lottie reaches the finish, but will her mental tailspin have cost her that red belt? Yusra, meanwhile, is having trouble right from the start. The secret here is to remember to stay positive and let your mind guide your body. And she's off, navigating her way round the maze like a rickshaw during rush hour. Last up is Jamie, who, like Yusra, is finding it hard to get going. Will his training kick in? Not that way, Jamie. There's the gong. And a wipe of the brow revealed just how mentally demanding that really was.
That was tense.
So, which of our Brainees was most fazed by the maze? Neil, 43 seconds. Lottie, 1 minute 51 seconds. Yusra, 42 seconds. And Jamie, 1 minute 16 seconds. And so Yusra just pips Neil to win by a single second, while for Lottie it's a sad sayonara as she hands over her brain belt and exits the dojo.
Walk of eternal regret.
I found the training quite easy, but the challenge was much harder. I'm sad to go, but I'll remember it for the rest of my life.
So with 2 levels to go, that now just leaves Neil, Yusra and Jamie to receive their red brain belts.
I was quite confident, so I think the tip in brain training really helped me.
Neil is really the one I'm worried about. I'm not that worried about Yusra because I don't think she'll get to the final.
Brain-Jitsu!
Level 6, Prawn bolt!
It's this level which will decide which 2 of my remaining Brainees will go on to battle it out
For the black belt.
Imagine you're performing a dance. As well as your moves to remember, there's the other dancer to think about, and there's loads of people watching you. It's remembering things under pressure like this that level 6 is all about.
It centres around 3 areas of the brain. The seeing part, the occipital lobes, the memory part, the temporal lobes, and the movement part, the cerebellum. To the max.
The room of mental nourishment.
Final, here we come.
Our Brainees are back in the room of mental nourishment, this time for some memory training.
Brain training. Memorize the sequence of the objects.
Mouse, banana, snake, Eiffel Tower. Mouse, banana, snake,
Eiffel. Poison.
So guys, should we turn around?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might help.
Monster arm, fly swat, fried egg, sunglasses, eyeball, frog.
Mouse, banana, snake, Eiffel Tower, toilet.
Cabbage.
Very good, chaps. And what about Yusra?
Cabbage.
No cheating, Yusra.
Cabbage. Cabbage. Hammer, photo frame, wand, and poison.
Okay, you're right.
Yay, you got it right.
You took the longest out of all 3 of us.
Because I memorised that way.
Yeah, I memorised that way too.
Well, I memorised that way.
Oh no, not another argument. Quick, where's the training tip?
Fair.
Well, it was your idea.
Create a story linking the objects together.
Right, let's swap them.
All right.
Memory training like this isn't just great for the brain, it's also very useful. Next time you're going shopping, create a story out of your list and see if you can remember everything on it.
In the Eiffel Tower, there was a toilet where a rat lived called Barry. He wore sunglasses and had a spatula.
He had a picture of his wife in a pink fluffy frame. He ate cabbage. He was attacked by a snake, and he lost his arm.
But then he grabbed a hammer and some poison and a magic wand and turned the snake into bananas and a frog. Then he went home and ate some fried egg. That was just weird.
It might not be J.K. Rowling, but as their story helped our Brainees memorise those objects.
In the Eiffel Tower, there was a loo, and a mouse called Barry lived in there. He had a... There's 2 things. He had glasses and he had a wand. No, a spatula.
He had one
Once
arm.
again, Yusra's temporal lobes let her down.
He was attacked by a snake and lost his arm.
But then he picked up a hammer and a magic wand and turned the snake into some bananas.
While the boys appear to have their memory licked.
To his friend Jumpy and had a fried egg.
But I'm good at memorising stuff, just not stories.
Personally, I think Yusra's gonna go out.
I've given up arguing with you 2. Let's just see what happens.
She's given up. Well done, Jamie.
Will Yusra master her memory in time to make it through to the next level? Or will her arch rivals, confident Neil and determined Jamie, prove just too strong? It's time to find out as our 3 red belt holders put their training to the test.
Super Memory Dizzy Dash.
Brainee is spin round and round on dizzy wheel. Total of 10 times. task is to use all power of focus to memorize 5 zoomed-in pictures in front of them. Then, race against clock to cross-balancing beam and collect full-size version of same image from 10 hanging above them. Then, they must arrange in order that they have seen from the wheel. When Brainy is happy with selection, hit gong to stop clock.
My tip for the Brainees is to keep focused on the main objective and use their training to link the 5 images together.
So, our final 3 brave the wheel to compete for their brown brain belts and their chance of a place at the table of supreme focus. It's time to spin. Will the memory training help our Brainees to remember the images and ignore the effects of being spun round like slugs in a cement mixer? The pictures they're looking for are at the bottom of the screen now. Looking a little unsteady, confident Neil wobbles off. But I don't recall seeing one of those. Don't forget, our Brainees must fight their dizziness and remember the 5 images they saw on the wheel, some of which look very similar. For every one they get wrong, it's a 5-second penalty. The Brainee with the slowest time will be eliminated from the dojo. Here's the right order again. And it looks like Neil has hooked himself a couple of red herrings. Those fish might look the same, but look closely and you'll see they're subtly different. Perfect Yusra is next to step off the dizzy wheel. As her training helped her remember those images. It might well have, but if you don't get a move on, then it won't matter if Yusra's remembered them all or not. As it turns out, Yusra's memory's not up to much either. She's even forgotten that there are 5 images to collect, not 4. Last but not least, it's determined Jamie. Faster than you can say crispy California rolls, Jamie grabs his 5 images. But are they the right ones? Here's the order now. And like the others, it looks as though Jamie might be adding some penalties to his overall time. So who's remembered enough of their training to secure their place in that final? Let's find out. Neil finished in 1 minute 43 seconds, but with 3 penalties, his total time was 1 minute 58. Yusra only picked up 2 penalties, but still enough to give her an overall time of 2 minutes 17 seconds. While Jamie, despite his 4 penalties, raced around fast enough to give him a total time of 1 minute 20. Which means it's perfect Yusra who must hand over her brain belt and leave the dojo.
Walk of eternal regret.
It all went wrong where we were spinning round because it was a bit too fast, so I completely forgot about everything. I'm feeling quite disappointed, but I'm also quite happy that I'm at least in the top 3, and that's what I wanted to be in.
So, with just 1 level to go, that only leaves confident Neil and determined Jamie to don their brown brain belts and prepare for the final showdown.
I'm quite confident about the table of supreme focus because I'm very good at just focusing and keeping my mind on something.
I really, really badly want that black belt.
Brain-Jitsu!
8 young hopeful arrived at Brain-Jitsu dojo to fight it out for Brain-Jitsu black brain belt. As training got tougher, so Brainees fell by wayside. Some lack focus, others speed. Now only 2 remain, confident Neil, stronger each level.
I was quite confident that I could go through.
And determined Jamie, winner of 3 tasks so far.
Neil is really the one I'm worried about.
But who will use brain training to the max to win last challenge? Level 7, Black Belt!
So, this is it. Between my two remaining Brainees and the Black Belt stands Brain-Jitsu's ultimate challenge. A mental duel that is head-to-head in every sense. The battlefield? A table. But not just any table. For this, my friends, is the table of supreme focus, where our two Brainees will attempt to move a ball across the table using only the power of their mind. By getting this far, they've already demonstrated mental control under many different types of pressure. But now, they must learn to focus their minds by entering a state of total calm. To prepare them, my two finalists will need to get into the zone.
Room of mental nourishment.
In this, their final visit to the room of mental nourishment, our last two Brainees are about to train in how to stay focused no matter what's happening around them.
Brain training. Mentally prepare yourself for the final task. Don't let the sounds put you off.
So, our two finalists have to block out the noises and concentrate only on finding their focus. While confident Neil resorts to shutting his eyes, determined Jamie appears to have entered a trance. It looks like neither are going to let themselves become distracted.
Interesting.
Visualize and focus on somewhere you feel happy and calm.
Thinking beach, sand, sea.
That should do it, I'd say. With both Brainees looking cooler than a kimono in a heatwave, it looks like we're in for a real mental battle.
I do think I'm focused at this point already. The tip helped a bit, but I don't think it was really necessary.
It's 50-50 chance for both of us.
Better be me.
Yeah, bring on the pain then, Jamie. Bring it on.
To survive the table of supreme focus and win the black brain belt, our Brainees must now put all their brain training to the test. Will confident Neil's positive outlook get him that elusive black belt? Or will determined Jamie block his way? Let's find out.
Table of supreme focus.
Rules are simple. Each Brainee must push ball to the opponent's end of table using only power of mind. Sensors in Brainees' headbands measure brainwaves. This is converted into electrical signal, which moves ball. More focused mind, stronger signal, and faster ball will travel. See how Brainees are doing on this readout. 2 lines represent each player's brainwaves. Lower the line, more concentrated their mind.
To make sure this is the test of all tests, our Brainees must win the best of 3 rounds. So, this is the big one. Our 2 finalists must use all their brain training to enter their zone of absolute focus. This is the reason they came to the dojo. This is the moment they've been training for. And they're off. At first, both Brainees seem pretty evenly matched. But eventually, it's determined Jamie who gets the ball rolling. His lower black line on the readout showing that he's the one who's just got the mental edge. It's 1-0 to Jamie, and confident Neil now faces an uphill battle. Will he remember his training and find his focus? The pressure's really on. But once again, it's Jamie, whose powers of concentration shine through, pushing the ball towards his opponent in one go.
Yes!
It's all over, and it's determined Jamie who has come out on top. Drawing on all his brain training when it really mattered, this young master of the mind has truly shown himself to be a worthy winner of the Brain-Jitsu black belt.
I feel just amazing to have won the black belt. It's just about the biggest thing I've ever won in my life.
But triumph for one brings disappointment for another, and although he fought well, Neil must now leave the dojo.
Walk of eternal regret.
Everything's so tense in the final, it is really, really hard to just conjure up a way to totally let go. After the first round, I just felt a bit shattered, and I didn't really know how to get past Jamie.
What a display of brain power from determined Jamie. Calling on all his training when it really mattered, this tough competitor found just that extra bit of focus to get one over on his rival Neil and grab the black brain belt.
Yes! Come on. That game was just about the most tense game I've ever played in my life. I just concentrated on the ball and nothing else. I'm just about as proud as I could be of myself right now.
Our journey has come to an end. Another Brainee has proven themselves worthy to wear the Brain-Jitsu black belt. But while Brain-Jitsu might represent the most extreme form of brain training, its philosophy can be shared by all. Each and every one of you has it in your power to grow your mind. All it takes is dedication and practice. This has been